Hello everybody, today we are doing a profile on the Tommy deck. Now that the Tommy's been unlimited, taken off the restricted list, we are now able to create a deck with it. So I went ahead and made a blue hybrid deck and I was able to take second in my locals with it. I like how it's running, although I would like some more input from you guys as far as the build goes. But this is what I have so far. So we do run 4 Wanyamon, 1 Upamon. You definitely want the draw power. You definitely want to make sure that you can pick up the pieces, especially the hybrids. All of the blue hybrids for the deck are how you win this game. So you definitely want to make sure that you are drawing with your babies here. And when attacking, if you have a tamer, is the one that's most likely to happen. So we go ahead and do it. We also run 4 of the Strabimon that has the inherited. When you attack with a hybrid, you gain 1 memory. You, of course, don't want to play this directly onto the field. This is the one that you want to digivolve off of your baby so that you can swing with a hybrid later. So we run 4 of this guy, which memory is pretty good for this, right? The more memory you have, the more you can swing and finish your opponent for game. We also have 4 of the On Deletion gain 1 memory Gomamon. This card in particular works really well with Lanamon because Lanamon has that ability where you can place a level 3 under your Digimon to gain jamming. So gaining that On Deletion gain 1 memory is actually pretty cool because it might keep your opponent from wanting to swing into it because they might pass some memory, as well as the other combo card that we'll talk about in just a little bit. I run only 1 of the Searcher Strabimon. We don't run a lot of rookies in this deck because, well, your tamers will be your rookies, essentially. So we'll actually see tamers here in a little bit. And then I run 2 Pokemon. Pokemon's really good for hybrid decks. It searches 5, picks up 2 cards, and you gain 2 memory when you digivolve off of a tamer. So Pokemon works really well here perfectly to get you some swings and to search double duty for that Pokemon. Always really good with hybrid decks. I do run 2 Davises, or rather, I want to run 2 Davises. I only have 1 right now. But this would be 2 Davises. You don't need to run a full 4 set of Davis. You do want to be able to pick up cards with it. Again, you are still looking for combo pieces with the blue hybrid, and Davis is a pretty good one. Like, you don't get a green card. There's no cards that are green in this deck. So that one doesn't activate. But the search for the blue card in the deck is still really good. Of course, we run a full set of 4 Tommies, which is the card that was just unrestricted, which strips 3 sources from your opponent's Digimon, and it has the inheritable that when attacking, if your opponent has a Digimon with no sources, they cannot attack or block. So you can have this. You can attack every turn and stun your opponent as long as it doesn't have any sources under it. Tommy's a really good card. We also have Sora and Joe's. I run 2. You could probably get away with 1, but I do like the fact that when you swing with a blue Digimon, you can tap it and strip away 2 sources. And if your opponent doesn't have sources under the Digimon at the start of your turn, you get to gain an additional 2 memory. So if you've been stunning a Digimon with Tommy and the hybrids, then you will probably be able to gain more memory and get closer to winning with those 2. I also run a full set of 4 Jerrys. So Jerry and Leomon, which is the other combo piece. Jerry gets to play the Leomons. We run 4 of this blocker Leomon. Because you get a Digimon out on the board, the Digimon is a blocker, and on deletion, if the Leomon dies, you gain 2 memory and you draw 1. And of course, you can hybrid on top of Jerry. And if you get attacked, you can tap to draw. There's a lot going on with this combo. It actually works really well with the blue hybrid decks. So I make sure that they run the full package. Just because sometimes I don't have a Leomon, I do run 1 of the On Deletion gain 2 memory Leomon. It is slightly stronger than this one, but it doesn't matter. It's still a Leomon. It gets to play for free if you have it in your hand with Jerry. So that we do that if possible. For Lanamon, this Lanamon is really good. This is the one that you definitely want to be running. You can, unless you use the ability to place a level 3 under to gain jamming. So if you do have Gomamon or Strabimon in your hand, Strabimon will just give you 1 additional memory as you swing. With jamming, you're going to gain 1 memory. And if you were to put the Gomamon under, then if your Lanamon is suspended and you leave it for the next turn, your opponent might think about it twice swinging over it because it will give you memory as well. And if you happen to get 2 under there, so for example, if you have the egg and there's a Gomamon there, you have a Gomamon in hand, you digivolve to Lanamon, you place the other Gomamon, then that could be 2 memory that you gain if you have that setup going on. It's a pretty good combo going on. So Lanamon is the one you want to have a full 4 off. I run 4 Korikakumon. Korikaku is just like the best one. When digivolving, you stun your opponent. It has 6k, some of the highest DP. And it can, of course, digivolve for 1 from other level 4s. So if you have Lanamon or Kumamon out there, you can just digivolve to the side for 1 and stun your opponent that way. Korikakumon, full 4, you definitely want to have those. 2 Kumamon, you could run more. I haven't needed Kumamon that much. There's a lot of source stripping already. Stripping 1 more source away doesn't do a whole lot. So 2 Kumamon, you could do 3, maybe even 4, and you'd be okay with that. That's not a problem. But my list has 2. I run 3 of the Beowulfmon. I was running 4, but 4 was too many. I often had way too many Beowulfmons in my hand. You don't really need that many level 5s anyway, but I just happen to have 3s. They can remove, for example, a blocker and bring a hybrid back to your hand, which can be important. Slightly higher DP, which still is not going to probably survive most things that you check. But still, so pretty good abilities going off. And on top of that, it can get you to a level 6, which I did put a couple in here, but not many. One underrated card, Chimeramon, in this blue hybrid deck is really good. Mainly because you can DNA 2 hybrids for free into a Chimeramon that can stand and swing into your opponent. The combos capable with Chimeramon are pretty crazy. I would probably run 3 if I had a 3rd Chimeramon. I just happen not to. But even with 2, I've been able to pull off the combo very successfully. And I'll go over that a little bit later. Level 6s, I only run 2, 1 All Force Veedramon and 1 Mirage Galgamon. They both swing for 12. It's not really important to have a level 6 in this deck, but the abilities that these 2 cards have are pretty good, right? You can send cards back with Mirage Galgamon. If a card is picked up by your opponent, you get to gain memory based off of that. Whereas All Force Veedramon can bounce your opponent's cards depending on how many tamers you have. It can also put down a tamer for free. I've been able to pull off a combo where I go into All Force Veedramon, put down a Jerry, and then Jerry puts down a Leomon, and now I have All Force Veedramon, which has bounced a card, and Leomon, which is put itself down as a blocker, and kept my opponent from winning. That's a pretty good combo. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. We also run 2 Sorai. If you playing against Marcus, Sorai is really good. I will keep them from attacking without sources. Marcus does not have sources when attacking unless they're running a hybrid version, which most people don't. Sorai can save you quite a many times, and of course strip a few sources from your opponent. I run 1 Hammer Spark. Most people would like to cut the Hammer Spark. I think it's really good because your opponent's always thinking like how much memory you need to win. In order for them to win, in order for you to win, that type of stuff. So if they pass 3, usually they think that you don't have enough to get 2 hybrids out, which would require 4 memory. But if you have Hammer Spark, you can get 2 hybrids and mess up their plans of that. On top of that, if they give you 3 memory and you do Hammer Spark, you bring out 2 hybrids, and you need a 3rd swing, that's where Chimeramon comes in. Now you've gotten 3 swings, 3 security checks just off of that. You also have Kakaida's Breath. You just got to get rid of stuff sometimes, and Kakaida's Breath is pretty good, particularly something like Death Axmon. There's nothing in this deck that can swing over it or really get rid of it on its own. Got to have the Kakaida's Breath just in case. And obligatory Ice Wall, right? 1 turn delay for your opponent's win. Always pretty good. Cool. So here I'm going to show you the combo. So for example, you can have something like Wanyamon with a Gomamon. Right, maybe you digivolved off a Leomon. You have Tommy. Right, you have for example, like Korikakumon or Lanamon. Doesn't really matter. Let's say you have Lanamon because you didn't survive here, right? You have Leomon. Leomon, as you know, when it swings, usually has jamming. Usually it doesn't die. If it were to die, you would gain with the Gomamon stack. You were to gain 3 memory and draw a card. That could potentially help you win a game. Let's say you swing and you don't pull that off. You still have 2 memory in that scenario. You could put down a Lanamon over your Tommy. Put a Strabimon under with the effect to gain jamming. You go ahead and swing. That's a 2nd swing. Then you can go ahead and get your 3rd swing by combining the 2. It doesn't matter that they are the same color. You can still Chimeramon on top of that, right? You'll DP reduce your opponent by 2. You'll have a new Digimon that can attack. And you still get to trigger the Tommy effect off, which is crazy. There's no thing keeping you as a Chimeramon from using it. Chimeramon can get effects off going again, and if you happen to have the on deletion gain memory type of situation in the stack, Chimeramon does grab a card from your trash and put it under. If you grab another Gomamon, for example, you can put it under, and if Chimeramon were to die, then you gain more memory, and then if you have other tamers out, you can do more hybrids and keep your combo going that way. So this build is really cool. It's really rushy. I've had even situations where I've won games by like turns 2 or 3 if I'm lucky enough, if I just have the right cards in hand. Because this deck, the way it's built, it will more than likely gain memory, and it punishes your opponent for swinging into you if you have set up your memory gaining situations. So that's the deck. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you